The Stories of Your Life. The 8 Masterplots that explain human behaviour. Written and read by Ben Ambridge. Chapter 1. The Inside Story. Masterplot Recipes. This is a book about stories, so it seems only fair that I start by telling you mine. A couple of years ago, I finally landed my dream job as a professor at the University of Manchester. But when I started out, I struggled. In the world of academia, 2 things matter: publishing journal articles and getting grants, money to cover the cost of doing research. I was failing on both fronts. Journals didn't want to publish my research, and funders didn't want to support it financially. Worst of all, I had no idea why. The studies that I were running were sound. The peer reviewers, for both journals and funders, said so. The methods were described in detail. The statistical analyses were kosher. But my work was met with an overwhelming meh. After I'd been floundering for a while, a senior professor asked to take a look at my work. He put his finger on the problem almost immediately. "You've got to find the story," he said. This was news to me. I'd been working on the implicit assumption that only the content of my research mattered. Ironically, for a psychologist, I was ignoring decades of psychology research on how our brains store and process information as narratives. As social animals, we humans have evolved to think not in terms of facts and figures, but stories and gossip. Not science and statistics, but who's doing what to whom. Find the story, my colleague told me. Pick a narrative and stick to it all the way through. I followed his advice and it worked like magic. The research itself was the same, but once it was framed in terms of a story, the journal and funding body reviewers could see what I was trying to do and why. Which narrative did I use? That's the beauty of it. Over the years, storytellers have served up a menu of overarching narrative arcs, or masterplots, to choose from. Having studied these masterplots, I was able to choose the one that best fitted the research project in each case. One time, it might be the Quest Masterplot, Chapter 2, where the intrepid hero, me, sets out to capture some hard-won, valuable knowledge that will cause us to re-evaluate everything we thought we knew. Another time, it might be the Monster Masterplot, Chapter 5, where we must arm ourselves with a new weapon, device, or technique to overcome some deadly threat, such as a hostile journal reviewer. Another time, it might be the Feud Masterplot, Chapter 6, where well-matched, mirror-imaged rivals, here competing theories, battle to the death. It took me the best part of 20 years, though, to realise the fundamental importance of masterplots to human existence. At first, I saw them as little more than tools for writing academic papers, or curiosities to bring up when I found myself in conversation with film or literature buffs. In fact, they are so much more. What I eventually came to realise, and what I'd like to show you over the next couple of 100 pages, is the following. Whether we are aware of it or not, we humans attach the same set of predictable masterplots to just about all of the experiences that we go through in life, to the extent that we not only allow these masterplots to influence our decisions, but even, on occasion, manipulate them to achieve our goals. So what is a masterplot exactly? I hope you'll forgive me for reheating a metaphor that is rapidly approaching its use-by date, but the best way to understand masterplots, as they've long been used in all kinds of fiction, is to think of them as recipes for building stories. A recipe for, say, a sponge cake consists of a list of ingredients and instructions for combining them together into a particular order. Neither have to be followed to the letter. If you don't use exactly the right kind of sugar, or forget to sift the flour, your cake will still be edible. Certain ingredients, like vanilla essence, lemon juice, a dusting of icing sugar, are optional, and an expert baker will often deviate from the recipe on purpose in order to achieve a particular result. But if you leave out one of the key ingredients, or put them together in a completely different order, you'll end up with an inedible mess. It's the same for stories. The recipe for, say, an underdog story, Chapter 7, consists of a list of ingredients, for example, a put-upon hero from humble beginnings who eventually...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?